Hey family, we're just trying to go live and I'm not seeing anything that I'm live. So I'm just going to start talking and thank you for coming to Elevate with Donna J today. I'm so glad that you're here today because uh, oh wow, we are so excited about what's happening today. When I tell you who we have on, if you have watched Elevate with Donna J, you already know who we have on. Okay. But you don't know what he's going to talk about. Okay, so we have he's touted as the NFL's most infamous superstar sports agent. Uh, I mean, wow, infamous. But he's a motivational speaker. He's a man of God. He was an All-American athlete. He's an author. He's a lot of things, and we're going to talk today with the legendary. I can't even tell you how legendary he is, but I'm so glad he's here. Mr. William Tank Black is in the house today. William Tank Black, yes, he's in the house today. And I see now that, oh, wow, okay, now I feel like I'm on. I'm on. I don't know if I was on before, but that's how technology works sometimes. But welcome, family. Let me go back and say, welcome, family. I'm so glad you guys are here today. Welcome to Elevate with Donna J. I'm your host, Donna J. And boy, am I glad that you stopped in today because today, when you get off this broadcast, you are going to be inspired and motivated to do anything that you want to do because you'll know whose you are and you'll know that anything with him, all things are possible. That's right. With him, all things are possible. And when we talk to our guest today, our featured guest today, who I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this interview for so long. So I'm so excited to welcome today. Oh, hold on, family. I am so excited to welcome William Tank Black to the Elevate House. Oh boy, we've got an interview for you today. I am so excited. So I want to get to our Black History moments, and we're going to get through that, and then we're going to talk with William Tank Black. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. But first, we have our Black History, our little known Black History fact, which we always do because, like I always say, after February, we were given 28 days, but on March 1st, I was still yet Black. So I was like, let's do some more little known Black history facts. So that's what we do each and every week, and we're so excited to have you join us. So when we come back, we are going to do our little known Black history fact, and then we're going to talk to Mr. Tank Black. I'm so excited. So get your friends, get your cousins, whatever. I always tell you, get a pen, paper, write on the wall if you have to, but make sure you take notes from this today. I'm so excited. Okay, so we'll be right back with our little known Black history facts. Stay tuned, guys. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm so glad you guys stopped in today. And we have Tank Black in the house today. Please ask questions. Get in those comments, family, and ask questions. He'll be glad to let you know anything that you need to know. His life is an open book because he did a book called Tanked. So we're going to talk to him about that a little later on. So just ask questions, get in those comments, like, tag, share, send hearts, send love this way today because we really need to have that on our show. So come on, people. Come on, family. I know you can do it. But right now, we're going to have, you guessed it. If you've been here before, you know what time it is. It is story time. Story time with Donna J. All right, let's go. Oh, wow. So All right, it's story time with Donna J. I have my glasses so that I can read. I got my cup of coffee. Oh, well, actually, this is tea today, and it said, "You got this, you got this." So we're going to set my teacup down, got my glasses on, and we're going to be ready to read something to you today. So, you ready, family? You ready? All right, here we go. The Black Star Line, the BSL, was a steamship corporation established in 1919 by Pan Africanist Marcus Garvey, the leader of the United Negro Improvement Association, the UNIA. The name inspired by British luxury steamship line called the White Star Line was applied to a highly ambitious and ultimately mismanaged corporation. Similarly to the UNIA Negro Factories Corporation, the BSL was part of a larger effort on the part of Garvey to encourage Black self determination and economic independence. Garvey saw that blacks across the globe were largely being exploited and left out of the global economy. The BSL would partly remedy that situation by facilitating the shipment of goods among the far flung people of the African diaspora, thereby fostering the growth of a self reliant and resilient global black economy. The BSL would transport immigrants to Africa for the establishment of a black nation state. Garvey started to solicit funds for the Black Star Line from UNIA members at meetings in 1919 and soon raised enough money to establish the corporation. BSL shares sold for $5, which allowed blacks of modest means to own a piece of the UNIA largest economic venture. Between 1919 and 1920 alone, the UNIA raised $800,000 and in the same year purchased the BSL's first ship, the Yarmouth, a 30-year-old vessel last used in World War I as a freighter. By the time the BSL took possession of the vessel in New York City, New York, it was beset with a number of unfixed repairs and attempted sabotage by crew members. Two more ships, the Shady Side and the Kanawha, were purchased later and had problems similar to those of the Yarmouth. The Shady Side was used to ferry passengers up and down the Hudson River, but eventually sank after a seam broke in an ice storm. The Kanawha was plagued by numerous mechanical issues and staff misconduct. The Black Star Line ships were sometimes used to transport people and make largely symbolic port visits to cities in Latin America in celebration of Black self determination, business ownership, and economic potential. The ships visited various ports in Panama, Jamaica, Costa Rica, Cuba, and other countries. No BSL vessel ever reached Africa. Although the Black Star Line had numerous vocal critics and skeptics, the steamship corporation for a short time served as a powerful recruiting tool for the UNIA. Ultimately, however, the BSL led to the downfall of the Universal Negro Improvement Association. Besides the mismanagement of the line by Garvey Associates, who had no background or training in steamship company management, the newly formed Bureau of Investigation, later known as the Federal Bureau of Investigation, under J. Edgar Hoover, sent a black agent to infiltrate the UNIA to find evidence to undermine the Garvey movement. In 1922, Garvey was arrested on mail fraud charges for selling stock in a ship that had not yet been purchased for the Black Star Line. He was convicted in 1923 and, after appeals, imprisoned in 1925. He was then pardoned by President Calvin Coolidge and deported to his home country of Jamaica in 1927. So the Marcus Garvey movement. I remember coming when I was coming up, how some people would talk about the Marcus Garvey movement, going back to Africa movement. And it seemed impossible. It seemed like, no, we don't want to leave here. We don't want to go. But a lot of people wanted to go and they believed in his dream and they wanted to see it happen. And then the government sent someone in. We're reading the story. The government sent someone in to infiltrate his business and they brought him down and the whole movement was shut down. President Coolidge pardoned him and sent him on his way, but he did send him back home. So Marcus Garvey, we salute you for trying to raise the economic situation in America, trying to make a change, trying to make a difference. And just like Black Wall Street and other big towns and things that were owned and operated by Black families and the upper Black echelon who wanted to bring people in and give us economic wealth, it was shut down and burned to the ground just like that. So um, I just want to salute Marcus Garvey for trying to make a difference, and he did.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Thank you for being our little known Black History cameo person today. We appreciate you and we appreciate all you do to help keep our community safe. So, yes, so that was our little known Black History fact, guys. And I am so excited because now we're going to get to our interview with the infamous William Tank Black. I'm so excited. There's so many questions. And guys, please, if you have questions, get on here, get in those comments, ask questions, make comments. This is how we're going to help to heal each other. This is how we're going to get to know each other. Do this. So come on. So when we come back, we're going to talk with author, motivational speaker, athlete, coach, all those things, man of God. We're going to talk to William Tank Black. Be right back. Hey, Tank, how you
Hey, Donna.
doing?
I'm
I'm
doing
so
great. How are you?
Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad you could join us today. We are excited to sit down and have the chit chat with you today about your career, about, everything that has happened to you over the years because your life is what movies are made of. You know, so we want to make sure, but the thing is, we're not here to judge, to correct, or anything. We are here to listen to you and your story. And whatever tips that you can give us, we will gladly take. And these will free somebody who feels like they're lost and they can never make it back. But you are a living example to say that whatever you can make it, you can make it. So we're
Absolutely.
gonna yeah, so we're gonna jump right in, and
Okay.
I did tell you what the first question was going to be, but the first question is this: the very first question is for people who don't know who you are, who haven't heard about you, who have not been in the sports world to know, what exactly your who you were in the sports world. Who is William Tank Black?
Okay. Well, I'm from East Tennessee, a little place called Greenville. I was born in Johnson City, and I was born to a mom who was 17 years old and a dad who was 19. So they were too young to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so my grandmother came and got me, and I ended up in Greenville, Tennessee, with my grandmother. and my grandmother raised me. And she taught, and she had a third grade education, Donna, and she taught me
Mm-hmm.
more about life than anybody in my whole life. Okay.
I believe it.
And yep, yep, she really did. And uh, I was around so many women, black women, and people don't realize how strong women are, and especially black women. They just don't realize it. But I've had a chance to experience that firsthand. And so, I'm a first team All American wide receiver in high school and quarterback. And then I went to college and was 3-time All American. I didn't even know if I was going to get a chance to go to college because we were so poor. I knew that my family wasn't going to be able to put me through school. And
Mm-hmm.
I was so serious about it that when I was 15 years old, I went to the Marine Corps and I stayed with the Marines, and I told them I might want to join the Marines. And so the Marine guy said, "Well, you need to come back when you get 18 years old. Why you here now? You can't do anything right now." And so, fortunately, I didn't have to worry about that because I got a lot of scholarships to play football,
Mm-hmm.
and education was really important because I knew as a young black kid I was going to have to do a lot, and I wanted to really be successful, and that's true about
Mm-hmm.
pretty much all of us. And so,
Wow.
to tell you how poor we really were at the time, and I didn't ever think that I was poor when I was growing up because I was loved
Mm-hmm.
so much. But to tell you how poor we really were, I'd never been anywhere. We never went on a vacation. I didn't even know what a vacation was. So when it was time for
Mm.
me to go to college, I had my clothes in black trash bags, and because
Wow.
I didn't have any luggage, and so
Mm-hmm.
I took those black trash bags and put them in the bushes, went on up to the dorm, and later that night I came back and got my clothes because I didn't want anybody seeing me with my clothes like
With
that.
the black trash
But
bags.
years
Mm-hmm.
later, yeah, years later, God would take that same young Tank Black and give Carson Newman University a endowment scholarship to be used for all minorities, not just black, but
Mm-hmm.
minorities. And that's some of the things that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, and we because we're really gonna get into your life a little bit because, like I said, your test has become a testimony, and people need to hear that, and we want to hear your, we when you, I'll even say this when I told people that I was interviewing you, I got mixed reviews. I got mixed
Hmm.
comments. Oh, he did this, and then people, oh no, no, he was set up. Oh, he did it. No, no, he was set up. And I want you to have an opportunity to say what that went down in your eyes, what happened in your eyes. I really want you to have that opportunity. So, but one of the questions I do want to say from the very beginning is, Tank, when we finish this interview, what is it that you want people to take away?
I want people to know that if God can take a little young kid from East Tennessee that doesn't have anything, but does have love in the home, no car, no, I never seen a shower before until I went to the white
Wow.
schools. We had an
Mm-hmm.
outhouse as a bathroom. Most people don't even know what that is today. Okay.
Right.
We didn't have a phone. We had to go next door to use somebody's phone. And so,
Mm-hmm.
if God can take that person and take them to the top of the sports business, agent business, where their net worth is 250 million dollars, he can do that with anybody. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm nobody special. And all of us are created equal in God's eyes. And that's so important for all of you to know that you're important. Some people out here in the world may not think you're important, but to God, You are very special, and you will
Mm.
always be special. And God will not give up on you. He's not going to ever let somebody else give up on you. So don't give up on yourself. All God is
Hmm.
asking you, me, any of us to do is our very best and put our trust and faith in Him. And,
Amen.
and when we
Amen.
tell this story today, Donna, you'll
Hmm.
see where I got off track.
Okay. Okay.
Come on, Mo.
Well, Well, we're gonna get into that right now because you said a little bit about how you grew up, and one thing that we all have in common is we all were born, we're all going to die, but we all were born, but into what circumstances and situations. So that's where the difference is. So when you grew up and you grew up with your grandmother came to get you, like, who were some of the influences where you were living? Who were some of the influences in your life?
It was my grandmother. It was my aunt Elizabeth. It was my cousin Bobby, my cousin Dorothy. Um, it was those people. It was my aunt Bill, Jeanette. It was these people because keep in mind, I was a little baby. I was
Mm-hmm.
2 years old when I got there. And so, uh, but they taught me to believe that I could do anything and nothing would stop me as long as I was willing to work hard and get to know people. Donna, I am an expert relationship builder. And I
Wow.
don't have any problem saying that because I really am. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason I say I'm an expert in that area is because I treat all people equal. I'm not better
Mm-hmm.
than anybody. Nobody's better than me. And when people see me, I want them to experience something really positive where they leave Tank Black and they say, God, I heard all these things about him, but he
Mm-hmm.
ain't nothing like that. This guy ain't nothing like that. He treated me so kind and so nice. And I want people, when they see me, to see Christ. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do all those things you've read about a lot of things. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't criminal things. I didn't do any of them. I lied to them. I did do
Mm-hmm.
that, but all
Mm-hmm.
the other things I got cleared of them. And you don't
Mm-hmm.
ever get a chance to read that. Okay,
Right.
you get a chance to read all this stuff they said, but then when I go to court and I actually
Mm-hmm.
get exonerated from these things, well, they don't even put that in the paper, so you never get
That's
a
not
chance to read it.
that's nowhere.
Yeah.
And since you're bringing that up, let's jump to that, because some of the things that they were accusing you of was defrauding your sports clients, which that's basically what I hear, that in association when speaking with you, defrauding clients and mismanaging about $15 million, money laundering in a Detroit drug trafficking ring, which is one of the other things, offshore accounts. Filtering money through offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands, and helping a fugitive drug dealer get away to the Cayman Islands. So he's on the lam still, as far as we know, right? So
Right.
these charges against you, the I think that for me, in talking with you and reading, the thing that was really, really um, upsetting to you, that you wanted to make it clear, is that you never stole anything from anybody, none of your players. And that was one of the things I read in your book. You want to speak on that a little bit?
Yeah. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I didn't know anything about our justice system. Okay. And I never spent a day in jail in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got all these charges and I was put in jail, uh, I didn't even know what they were saying that I actually did. And at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, they weren't saying that I did these things. They were saying other people did them and I knew about it. And
Mm-hmm.
so I asked my attorney,
Mm-hmm.
look, can I get in trouble because they did something and I knew about it? And he's like, yeah, they'll call it a conspiracy and they'll get those guys to say you knew more than what you really knew. And
Mhm.
so that's really how I got in trouble. Well, when I got to prison, uh, I made a deal with the warden. Uh, he called me into his office the second day that I was there. He said, "Mr. Black, I've looked at your file. I've read all through it, and I don't think you should be here. I mean, I
Mhm.
really don't." He said, "But you are, and all I'm asking you to do is you stay out of trouble, and I won't let anybody get you in trouble." And I told him, "Well, you ain't got to worry about me staying out of trouble. I'm not going to do nothing." And
Mhm.
he said, "But I want you to do me a favor. We have people." I was at the same place where Ernie Madoff was. Okay, not at the same
Oh.
time, but he came later, and it
Mhm.
was and so they have these people on the fourth floor at the hospital uh, that they want to do all kind of things for. He wanted me to draw up a curriculum of Olympic type things that we were going to do for those people on the fourth floor. And when he said he wanted me to do it, look, I was so upset about just being there. I told him, I said, "Warden, I said, listen, no disrespect to you, sir, but I don't want to do anything. I just
Mhm.
want to go be by myself. I want to get my meals. I want to get a place to stay, and I'm not going to bother anybody. I just want to do my time and get it over
Mhm.
with." Okay. And he said, "Okay." And
Mhm.
but um, a few days later, and that's when I was telling you about my night of resurrection. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. And so I couldn't
Mhm.
believe that I was in prison. I mean,
Mhm.
before prison, I had my own $20 million jet that I could fly anywhere in the world in. Okay,
Mhm.
I got three, four, 10,000 square foot homes. I got more money than I'm ever going to be able to spend. Okay, and I'm all out in
Mhm.
the community doing things. Listen, there's two sheets of philanthropy things that I was doing in the community.
Mhm.
Nobody was doing anything like I was doing in the community. Okay,
Mhm.
and
Right.
so I, 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 I I was. It was snowing. I'm in Detroit, Michigan, and I'm in a cell by myself. And I got my little boy's picture on the wall. I got all my kids' picture on the wall, but I got a little 4-year-old. Okay, and I'm praying and I'm crying, and and I'm and I don't know why I'm here because I haven't done these things that they're
Mhm.
saying that I've done. And
Mhm.
so, uh, but I but over about 2 o'clock in the morning after praying, I realized that man didn't put me here.
Mhm.
God actually put me here in this place, and
Mhm.
it was because he had given me all of this that what I have, all
Mhm.
this money and all these material things and all this prestige and power. He'd given it all to me, but he expected that I would honor him with all of it,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I wasn't. I wasn't.
Mhm.
I was shining the light on Tank Black. That's what I was
Mhm.
doing.
Mhm.
Now, that's not criminal, but it's a sin against God. And
Mm.
and once I realized that God put me there, I prayed and I asked God. I didn't ask Him to get me out of it. I just asked
Yeah.
Him to see me through it.
To see
And
you
if
through.
He would see me through it, I would turn into the man that He thought I was going to be the first time.
Mhm.
Because I was, I've always been kind. I've always been
Mhm.
respectful. I've always opened my door to anybody. I told my secretaries at our office, anybody comes in here that wants to see me, you let them in. Don't turn
Mhm.
them away. Okay. I had many people come. They couldn't bury their family members. And I would automatically call and get their family members buried. Automatically. No
Mm.
questions asked. I didn't even know them. Okay.
Mhm.
And so I've always been that kind of a person. And
Mhm.
so after that night, it really opened my eyes. And my niece Celeste, she sent me this letter that says, in the mail, that said, "Remember, when you feel like you can't take another step, you have wings. You can fly with God." And
Wow.
it hit me. It hit me. And so the earlier in that day, what
Mm-hmm.
really got me moving was my little boy was on the phone with his mom, and he kept saying, ask him, mom, ask him." And I said, "Well, what does he want you to ask me?" And she said, "Well, they got Father Sunday, Friday. He wants to know if you're going to be there."
Oh, that had to break your heart. That had to break your heart. Any father with a heart, and your son asks if you're going to be there, and you know there's no way you can be there, that had to break your heart.
And being a great father is so
Hmm.
important to me.
To you. Hmm.
And I mean, that shattered my heart in a million pieces. I
Hmm.
went and lay down. I just, it was awful, right?
Hmm.
So when I got through that night, I went back to the warden, and I told the warden, "Look, I'll go ahead and do those things you want me to do. I'll do
Hmm.
them. And, I just want you to help me. I don't know anything about our justice system at all, and I
Hmm.
want you to let me be in charge of the law library. And if you'll do that for me, I'll write all these curriculums, no problem."
Wow.
And he said, "Okay."
Wow.
He said, "Okay, I'll do that for you." And I
Hmm.
said, "Well, I'm gonna need it in writing, because
Hmm.
as soon as one of these guards come around and say, 'What you doing here?' and
What
I'm
you
gonna
doing in
say,
here?
this, this is what I'm doing here. It's from the
Right.
warden right here." Okay. So so we made that agreement. And he asked me, he said, "You were so adamant about you didn't want to do anything. Why the change of heart?" And I said, "The God that I serve has given me a second chance, and I'm gonna make good out of it.
That's right.
That's why I
Amen.
changed my mind." And so
Amen.
he let me speak to the entire prison population. He said he's never ever done it before. And I asked him, "Well, why do you feel comfortable doing it with me?" I said, "Because
Hmm.
I might get up there and tell them, 'Hey, look, it's 1,600 of us. It's only like 80 guards in here. We can all
we
leave
can
if you
take
want
them.
to.'"
We can take them, right? We can take
We
them.
can take this place over. I could be the warden." Okay. And no, he said, "No, I'm not worried about that." He said, "I know what kind of character that you have. I've been around you long enough to know that you're going to say something special." And I did. I talked about how, if you're here, you made some kind of a decision that got you here, most likely. Some maybe didn't. But in
Hmm.
any event, you have a chance to start all over again when you leave
Right.
here. And everybody's not going to give you that chance, but God is.
Hmm.
God's going to give you that chance. And if you
Amen.
go out and work hard, you'll be able to do anything you want to do. Because at some point in time, people will say, "You know what? Hey, this guy, he's different. I can trust him." Okay.
Well, wow.
And so that was kind of my speech, that we're all
Hmm.
responsible for our own life. Nobody can't point fingers at anybody when it comes to your life.
That's
You
right.
are the one. Okay.
Well, let's
So,
let's let's get to let's go back a little bit and do the prequel, and let's get to where bad decisions were made, or and how you got into that situation in the first place. So
okay.
we're at your school. You're an All American, doing all there's even a show now called All American, so people kind of get to see what All Americans are all about and what that means, like going to the combine.
Yeah.
Like, for people that are lay people, they don't know anything about what it takes to be an All American athlete. It's a lot.
Okay.
What was it like for you, Tank, to become an All American? Because here you are, and I'm going to get to why I'm saying this to you, is because here you are, you literally have nothing. You literally have nothing except who you are. That's all you have in your body and your will and determination, but you have the Lord too. So does it take to become an All-American?
Well, it's like anything else that you set your heart on. It takes dedication. It takes
Mm-hmm.
hard work. It takes learning your craft. It takes relationships. It takes a lot of things. When I went to college, I started the very first game as a freshman, which was very unusual. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'd been a high school All American quarterback, and that helped me a great deal. But then I was the most valuable player of our team 3 years in a row, and a three-time All American. Signed with the Atlanta Falcons, and was released, but could went back. But my grandmother was sick, and
Mm-hmm.
I decided I'm going to go home and be with my grandmother. And so I'm glad I did because she passed away. When she
Oh.
passed away, Donna,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I went straight into college coaching. I
Mm-hmm.
coached at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, and I was given an award for community service as a football coach in the community. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then what got me to South Carolina was I was offered a position to coach the wide receivers at the University of South Carolina by Joe Morrison.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted me to go to New Mexico when he was at New Mexico, and I told him, "Look, I want to go to New Mexico. There ain't no black people out there, and that's too far out there for me. When you come back this way, you call me, and I'll
Uh-huh.
consider it." Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
sure enough, he did, and that's how I got to South Carolina. Um, Coaching was something that I've loved football ever since I was 6 years old. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
uh, if you read in the book, you'll read about my experience that I had, which you have done. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, getting back, Donna, to the mistakes that I made
Mm-hmm.
is that these they had this company called Cash for Titles here
Wait,
in
wait, wait! Before
Columbia
we go
area.
to there, let's finish up your
Okay,
college and getting
okay,
up to that because we're gonna get up to that. But
okay,
the I want to talk about you and your experience with it was Joe Morrison at
yeah,
USC, and you were basically
okay,
promised a position as a coordinator on that
mhm, right,
on the team with USC,
okay, okay.
and that did not happen.
No,
Tank,
it
when
didn't.
you because when I will say this, I'm gonna just give a little bit of me here, but when I was in high school, there was this little. We used to have these trophies at the end, like the seniors would get. They almost looked like a Heisman Trophy almost, and they had a gold one and a silver one. And I had gone to this a black high school at first, then I transferred to an all white high school, and I still played sports. I did all sports. I was doing all league and everything at that time. And
Right.
when um, it was time for that program, and I said I won't get the gold one because I know that they was another athlete that was really really good, and I said she'll get that one, but I should get the silver one. So I'm waiting and waiting. My father is there, who my father, I don't know if he ever came to any one of my games, so my father is there, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get this, and then they called somebody else's name, and they gave me for my senior year most physically fit and a $50 a little coupon, a $50 check. And when I tell you the at 17, thinking that you're gonna get this, that this is yours, and to not have it come, it did something to my self-esteem, and it did something to my um as far as like my motivation, because I said they don't see me, and then I didn't feel worthy. So here now, why I'm saying this is because you give a story in your book about how you had your eyes set on something and you didn't get it, and but a man came along and gave you $50. Was it $50?
Yeah,
$50 check, $50 cash, and but that motivated you. That motivated you to be better, to do more. So now you're here at this college, and here it is. You don't get something else again. What did that do to you, Tank? What? How did you feel in that moment when you the? It was almost like a betrayal.
Well, yeah, it was. This is what happened. I was the top recruiter at the University of South Carolina. Out of our 22 starters, I recruited 14 of them. We got 9 coaches, okay, and who recruit, and 10 counting the head coach. Well, I was offered the offense coordinator's job, and I'm only 28, 29 years old. Okay, I was offered an offense coordinator's job at Mississippi State University. Now, this is the first time a black coach has ever been offered an offensive coordinator's job in the Southeastern Conference. Okay, and so I had small kids. I didn't really want to move to Mississippi. Okay, uh, my high school coach told me I need to take that job. Now, people don't realize that when I was coaching at South Carolina, I coached the wide receivers, but I also was a passing game coordinator, and I coached the quarterback. Okay, and so uh, I went and talked with Coach Morrison about it, and he's passed, and so and I loved him, and I don't have anything but good to say about him.
Right.
Okay. But he and I talked, and he said, "Look, don't take that job because it's going to come open here, and when it comes open here, I'll give it to you." And
Mm-hmm.
so I said, "Okay." All right, I didn't want to leave. And Sterling Sharp I was coaching Sterling, and he had one more year left, and he didn't
Mm-hmm.
want me to leave either. Uh, so I'd stayed, and the job. My high school coach told me you're making a mistake. You should take that job. And when South Carolina wants you to come back, they'll pick the phone up and call you and say, "Hey, look, we got an offer for you. Come back." Well, I didn't. Well,
Mm-hmm.
it came open a year later, and I didn't get it. And I learned about somebody else getting it from a friend of mine in the press, and it
Mm-hmm.
shocked me. And then when the guy who came in, um, I feel like he was threatened by me. So every little ideal I had, he just kind of rejected it.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't nothing. I didn't have nothing. He didn't think I knew, and I knew so much about this game of football. It was
Right.
unbelievable, right? And uh, so I just back then, like I said, I had small kids, and I was married back then, and I prayed about it, and I just decided that I'm gonna get out. You know, if I can sell young kids to come to the University of South Carolina and not go to Alabama or Georgia or LSU or
Mm-hmm.
Clemson, then I should be able to do pretty good on my own out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to uh, go out and got my insurance license, my first insurance license in 1987. And I started my sports management business because in 1988 I made my first $1 million selling insurance. Okay.
1988.
Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started the management company in 1989 out of the basement of my Wildwood home.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
10 years later, it was worth over $200 million. Uh,
And let's say, I just want to say some of the clients that you had on your roster, some of the clients that you had. Sterling Sharp, who you said, Vince Carter, Andre Rison, Barry Sanders, Charles Woodson, even Shannon Sharp, Fred Taylor, which that's another story, Ike Hilliard, Terry Allen, Ray Caruth, Javon Kersey, Rydell Anthony. Like these are top names that people in sports would be like, wow, wow. We know these names, and you had them as your clients. You had them as your
Absolutely. Yeah.
clients, and
And
and go ahead. Mhm.
no, no. And most
Okay.
of them, I recruited when I was a college football coach. So when I
Mm,
started my sports management business, I already knew a lot of them personally. So
mm-hmm,
it was a good transition to go from coaching college football into the sports business. Now, the agents in the sports business didn't think I was going to do very well because
mm-hmm,
I'd never been a sports agent. Okay, but business is about relationships. It's not about we can train. I will tell you about the business I'm in later, and
mm-hmm,
we can train anybody if you've got a good attitude. If you want to
mm-hmm,
make money, we can train you and help you make money. Okay,
mm-hmm,
and that's true all across businesses. And
mm-hmm.
so when I got into it, because I'm a relationship person, when I sat down and met with mom and dad wanted that kid to come with me because
Right,
they
right,
felt like I would take care of them. Now,
right.
uh, now, and I'm gonna back up a little bit, okay?
Mm-hmm,
The
mm-hmm,
things that people say, I took money from my client, I stole from them,
mm-hmm,
I was cleared of every bit of that. And
mm-hmm,
I've got court documents to
mm-hmm.
show that the same court that said I did those things is the same court that came back years later while I was in prison and said, no, you didn't actually do any of those things,
And
period.
that's so important. That's so important to know because the negative part of the press gets out. When you were, I don't know if you were exonerated of the charges or what the proper, the legal term, but they said that you did not do any of those things, and there's court documents to back you up on that. That
Yep.
was kept very quiet,
And
very
they're in my
quiet.
book. Those are in my book.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even the players, I want to even go back with some of your players. You were not allowed to talk to them, to tell
No,
them
went
what
right.
was going on. So they're
I couldn't even
thinking
talk to them.
the worst things too.
The court, when it first happened, said I can't go talk to my players to even tell them what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
now all of my players are only hearing from the court and the justice
In the
system.
press.
Yeah, in the press. And so,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but the Wall Street Journal wrote an article saying I did all these things and I stole all this money and everything. And
Mm-hmm.
then later on, every single one of those things, it was obvious that I got cleared of them. And they
Uh-huh.
never wrote an article. They never did anything. Now, but right before I went to prison, uh, the NFLPA put out some stuff saying that I had done these things when I hadn't. And the
Mm-hmm.
court said, and I sued them for $25 million. And the court
Ooh.
said my suit can go forward.
Mm-hmm.
When the
Mm-hmm.
court said my suit can go forward, a week later, I got arrested and was sent to prison 1 week later. Okay. Now,
Mm-hmm.
when 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 people say things out there, Donna, um,
Mm-hmm.
my grandmother taught me to be confident. Okay, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
confident person. Okay, so what you say about me is
Mm-hmm.
not going to bother me. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
if I do something that hurts you, that's going to bother me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if I do something that I know I'm wrong, my
Mm-hmm.
conscience will not let me hold that. I will have to come to you and say, Donna, I'm sorry. I owe you
Mm-hmm.
an apology. I should never have said what I said or done whatever I did. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
just for people out there who don't know me to say
Mm-hmm.
something about me, I'm a warrior. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
warrior. I'm black. I'm God's people. And all of us are God's people. But what I'm saying is, God made me to be a warrior. That's who I
Amen.
am. And
Mm-hmm.
so I don't worry about all that.
Mm-hmm.
What I do worry about is living my life the way God would have me live it and not waste time. That's what
Amen.
I,
Amen. And some of those young people, like you are a relationship person. You're very relatable. And some of those young men that you had on your as clients. Fred Taylor is one that comes to mind. That he looked at you. He said he looked at you as a father, like a father figure, and for you
Mhm.
not to be able to communicate with him to tell him what was going on, that must have literally, that really must have done something to him, because a lot of these young men that you mentored or had as clients, they didn't have a father figure in the house. So some of them did, but some of them did not, and they looked at you to be a father figure, from what I'm understanding. So it had to be devastating to them to not be able to talk to you, to not be able to hear what you had to say about it. And for someone also to come into your camp, because let's go back to a little bit of the story. Let's move a little forward. That somebody was in your camp that was asked by some of the higher ups in other areas to come into your camp and to kind of bring you down, to see what was going on, to bring you down. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? Because it goes to show this, that you must know who you're being surrounded with, or who's surrounding you. And this person comes in, and literally he has access to everything that you have, and he was asked to do that. So, and being a person of color, that had to be really hard. Had to be really hard for you.
It was. I gave that person opportunities that they never would have had. Okay, um,
Mhm.
but um, you don't ever really know everything about
Mhm.
people and um, what they're trying to achieve, or what they're trying to do. Um,
Mhm.
and that person, it passed away a few years ago, and
Mhm.
so I did get a chance to talk with him
Oh,
when I
good.
got out of prison,
Mhm.
and he came to me and said how sorry he was, because the fact is, if he doesn't do that, I
Mhm.
would have been a billionaire, okay,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
he would have been worth $100 million if he doesn't do what he did, okay.
Mhm.
But the big thing is that we got a chance to talk, and he said he was sorry, and I told him, look, none of us are perfect.
That's right.
If there's anything that I say when I'm out there speaking,
Mhm.
none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. We all sin. We all do things and say things sometimes that we wish we hadn't done or said. And because of that, we should look at each other as understanding that, hey, Donna, I know you're not perfect. If you do something and you come to me, I'm gonna say, hey, you're forgiven, because God says
Mhm.
I'm supposed to give 70 times 7 times.
That's
Okay?
right.
So
Mhm.
so so don't look at people as if they've done something, but you've never done anything wrong in your life. I lied.
Amen.
I should have got the same time that Martha Stewart got, which was
Uh-huh.
5 months. And I got 142 months. That's what I got. Okay.
You were in prison for 7 years, 10 months, and
And
16 days,
16
right?
days. That's right. 7 years,
Oh.
10 months, and 16 days. That's how long I was in prison. And I
Mhm.
wouldn't I wouldn't trade it though. Let me say that.
Mhm. Mhm.
If
Mhm.
if God came back and said, Tank, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take you back in time, and I'm going to restore you back to exactly where you were the day before you got arrested, and you're
Mhm.
never going to have to go to prison.
Mm.
I would say, no, no, Lord, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do
Mhm.
that, because you have taken me and put me in a place where I have a chance to see heaven. I have a
Amen.
chance to have my name written in the book of life and on the
Mhm.
walls of heaven. And that's what I
Mhm.
want. Because if I go back to the place when I was sinning, doing stuff I had no business doing, not crimes,
Mhm.
just doing
Mhm.
stuff I had no business,
Mhm.
then
Mhm.
I don't want that. I don't want that life.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
and I had a chance to experience prison and see what it's like. I had a
Mhm.
chance to, God used me to buy 1,500 pair of shoes for people in prison,
Wow.
sweatsuits. phone money for their phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
God
Mm-hmm.
used me to do all those things. And
Mm-hmm.
at that time, I let people know this is God. This ain't Tank,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
cause Tank got to shine the light on himself, and that's why Tank got here. So this ain't me. This is God. Okay.
Well, I want to say too that let's look at probably one of the reasons that you were spotlighted. Not only are you an African American male in a sports business that's dominated by white men, here you come and you do something that probably has never been done again at this time. And that is you had five number one draft picks. And it was it 1999?
In
Five
the same
number
draft, yes.
one draft picks in the same draft. That has not happened again. And
It had never been done. I don't know that it's happened
uh-huh,
again because I don't keep up with it like
right,
that. But it
but
had never been done when I did it. I can't say
right,
that. Okay.
wow,
And so yeah, that was special. I thought I was gonna have six, and I had one go in the early part of the second round. So
the second round.
we missed six. Yes, yeah.
But that is such a phenomenon now for people that don't know that usually that's something that doesn't really happen. And
If
so
you have
now we
one
have
person in the first round, Donna, that's a big deal. Okay. But so to
exactly.
have five, that's really rare, very unusual. Okay.
And you had four, and that was like tying it up. And then towards the latter end of the first round draft pick, the latter end, somebody got in. So that made you have five. Now, that
Right.
right there, that shines a light on you. Like, what is he doing? What's he doing?
Yeah, it did. It did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We really weren't. Now, don't get me wrong. I had players will come to me in Christmas time and say, "Hey, can you get me uh, $200 or $300 and get some
Mm-hmm.
Christmas gifts?" I
Mm-hmm.
had Javon come to me want $1,000 because
Mm-hmm.
they was cutting his lights out of his house. Didn't have any money. Okay, and I did those things. Okay, now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Javon Curse is going to go with me because I gave him $1,000 and in about 3 months he's going to get $20 million? And
Ah,
he's already done took 25,000 from other agents. And I
mm-hmm.
told him,
Mm-hmm.
look, when you get your money, give them people their money back.
Mm-hmm.
Give it back to
Mm-hmm.
them. You're going to have plenty. Okay. And give me
Mm-hmm.
my money back. So I have the check that he gave me that I showed to the FBI and everybody. I said, look,
Mm-hmm.
I gave him the money, but it
He
was a
paid me
loan
back.
and he paid
Mm-hmm.
me back. It wasn't because
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to buy his services. You can't
Mm-hmm.
buy somebody's services with $1,000 who's going to make $20 million. That ain't going to happen. That's not going to
Well, I
happen.
tell you, and let's go into this part now because what you were doing, you were helping your clients out when they needed this, they needed that. You helped your clients out, and before they were eligible to be to go into the draft. Is that what they were saying? You were
And
doing
that
that?
and that was wrong. That was wrong too. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
everybody was doing it. Now that doesn't make
Exactly.
it right. By me saying that doesn't make it
That's
right.
right. That's
But
right.
I knew everybody was doing it,
That's
and
right.
so I was doing the same thing everybody else was doing, and they doing it today. Except
I
for
know
they're
they're
not
doing it
giving
today.
$1,000, $2,000. They give them 25, 30, 40, 50,000 today.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's why I don't want to go back in that business. I've had a chance to go back many times, and
So
I've been
you were
faced
not
with the
banned.
same stuff.
You were not
Excuse.
banned from being a sports agent.
Oh
You were
no,
not
no, no,
banned
no,
from it. Hmm.
no.
Hmm.
I agreed to not be a sports agent for 3 years, and
Oh,
when those
okay,
three
okay.
years were up, I could be a sports
Then
agent.
you can
But
do it.
I'd be faced with the same temptations, the same
Mm-hmm.
issues, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that. And I'm in a much better place doing what I'm doing. Okay.
So, Tank, so when were recruiting players, how early can you start recruiting players out of, like, is it out of middle school, because I know they're looking at
Yeah.
these young kids. So how
When
early
you're
can you
coaching,
start
yeah, when
recruiting?
you're coaching college football,
Mm-hmm.
um, when you go to schools and you watch film, you may have a 10th grader. For example, I saw Sterling Sharp when he was a sophomore in high
Mm-hmm.
school. he was playing quarterback and a linebacker, and I
Mm-hmm.
knew he wasn't going to play either one of those in college. And
Oh,
so I
okay.
went to his coach and told him, "Look, coach, this kid right here, I'm going to offer him a
Mm-hmm.
scholarship. I'm going to want him to come to South Carolina and play wide receiver."
Mm-hmm.
And I was the first person to offer Sterling a scholarship. Okay,
Wow.
um, me and another coach. Okay, and so
Wow.
that stuck with him. Well, later on, when he was a senior, everybody started offering him Georgia, other schools, but I'd
Right.
already been recruiting in 2 years. So, yeah, you would
Wow.
start early, ninth or 10th grade.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna we're gonna pause for just a moment, and because I've got comments, and I want to read the comments what people are saying while they're in here. Alita Reed Smalls, thank you, Alita, for coming on today. She said this is such a heartfelt interview. I'm glad that Mr. Tank trusted God through it all. Jody Cobb is watching. Thank you, Jody. Uh-uh. Oh, 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 hold on. Lost my thing. Okay, there we go. Uh, Pinky says, this story is so interesting, family. Post all your questions for Tank. And that's right. If you have any questions, please, 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 put them in here so that we can ask Tank any questions that you have. Uh, Janice Johnson said, business is about relationships. Such an excellent statement. Mr. Tank, you would be a great business mentor. All right. Okay. Jennifer Brooks is watching. Jennifer said, thank you for sharing your story. Vince Johnson. Vince Johnson. Hi, Vince. Hey, Vince. Thank you for watching. He's the one who said that you'd be an excellent guest, and he was so right. Now it says Claire Huxtable. I don't know who Claire Huxtable is, but Claire, hi Claire. Thank you for joining us today. Alita Reed Small says, I'm so happy that you, Mr. Tank, had this opportunity to share the truth with Elevate with Donna J. Great interview. Our good friend Danielle Lake is watching. Danielle, thank you for watching today. Appreciate you. Janice Johnson says, beautiful words, Tank. Phyllis Corley and James Corley are joining from New York. Hi, Phyllis and James. Thank you. And Melanie Gibson and four other people are watching with us. So Tank, people are watching. They're watching and they're loving your story. So thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it so much. So we may be having a few little technical glitches here, and I hope that we don't shut off but you know how the devil does not want us. Okay, we're good. We're good. I just got the okay from the producer part of this. My producer's in the back saying, showing me okay, but I think I'm lagging a little bit myself here, so I'm not sure what's going on. Hey, you guys, check and make sure that Ethernet is hooked up so that we are so that I'm not lagging. I see Tank is good, but I feel like I'm lagging a little bit.
Am I good?
Okay,
Am I good?
you're wonderful. Yep, you're good.
Yep.
Okay,
I definitely want to
so
make sure that we talk about later what I'm doing
yes, oh, definitely, definitely. So
now.
I wanted to ask you a little bit more about the student athlete, the NIL program that they have now. You can actually, students and athletes are actually getting endorsements for, they can accept endorsements for their play now. So Tank, how is that going to affect college students, college athletes and universities around the country? How is that going to affect them that now they can receive endorsement money? And how will it, in part two of that is how will it affect the universities that don't have the money to put out to the athlete, such as a lot of the HBCUs do not have the money that the big programs that are other places have. How is that going to affect the college athlete?
Well, name, image, and likeness is the NIL. And so
Mm-hmm.
college athletes are now able to get paid and take advantage of their name, image, and likeness.
Mm-hmm.
I, the rich get richer. That's what's going to happen. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Can you hear me
exactly.
okay, Donna?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. The rich get richer. It's not good for the black colleges because they don't have
Hmm.
enough money to do the things that you would need to do with the NIL. Uh, and then
Right.
the transfer portal. I really don't like the transfer portal because they didn't think it through. A player should not be able to transfer during this season, and a
Hmm.
player should only be able to transfer one time in their career, and that's
Uh-huh.
not true. So,
Uh-oh. And that's okay. We're having a little bit of a lag here, and I don't want it. Oh, and we can't hear you, Tank.
okay, now
Okay,
I,
now I
I
can hear
know. Okay, okay. Um, and I just finished talking about the transfer portal.
you. Just go ahead and repeat that so that we can understand what you're saying because I'm having a little bit of a lag too, and
Okay,
we're not sure what's going on
okay.
with this. But you know, the devil doesn't want us to get this information out, but we're gonna get it out.
We'll get it out.
So,
Okay.
mm-hmm,
The NIL stands for name, image, and likeness, and
mm-hmm,
athletes are able to take advantage of it and get paid for it. Okay.
mm-hmm,
Uh,
mm-hmm.
it, I don't think it's good overall the way that they've done it. I want college athletes to get paid, just not in this particular type way. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Is it unfair? Oh, I don't know
it,
what's
it,
going
it's the rich get richer in college football with the NIL. It's unfair to smaller colleges
on.
and black universities overall. It is
Right.
unfair.
Oh, wow. This is really it is it I think it is very unfair that because they don't have the type of programs, the HBCUs don't have the type of programs that these big universities have, and that's gonna it's gonna cause some problem. And you know, we want to be proud when we are in our HBCUs. We want to be proud of them, and we want our kids to, you know, to go them where they're nurtured and where they're groomed and whatnot. And now, you know, that may not happen for a lot of of our kids who want to go ahead and have a great college career. They want to they'll go to wherever the money is being offered, because if they don't have any money, they're going to go to where the money is being offered. And that, you know, I just feel for our HBCUs, for the colleges that are, like you said, the smaller colleges that don't have the big money to offer, you know, the excellent athlete like Shannon Sharp, and you know, like Javon, or you know, even in basketball like Vince Carter. There's not where, you know, they're going to get lost. They're going to get lost, and I don't know if they've thought that thing out thoroughly or not, but it just seems like it's very unfair.
They didn't think it out fairly, and I don't think going in the door they worry about fairness when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to those type situations.
Some money. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, well, we'll see how this plays out. We will see how this plays out. So, so let's kind of go on to what you're doing now, and then I want to
Okay.
get back to the student athletes. But I want to know what is Tank Black doing now?
Okay. One of the best decisions that I've ever made has been recently to partner with a visionary founder and CEO, Ted Wilson of
Mm-hmm.
Universal Benefits. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
he owns a marketing company that markets insurance products, and um, what they do is we fund funerals, and we help people set up their funeral. People
Mm-hmm.
are going to die every day, all the time. The
That's
problem
right.
is we don't know when death is coming to us. And
True.
especially our people, but everybody is thinks that, oh, it's okay, I don't have to worry about that. Then all of a sudden
Mhm.
it happens. And so what we want to make sure of is that everybody plans their funeral, so that when that
Mhm.
time
Mhm.
comes, you're not hit with the burden of having to pay $12,000-$15,000 to bury your loved ones. And
Right.
so that's what we do. And we bring on agents, and agents who have companies, and we're able to train and teach them, show them how to make 100,000 or more dollars. That's what we do. And you don't need a
Wow.
license. Excuse me. You don't need a diploma. You don't need anything. And all you got to do is get your insurance license. Well, I'm the national teacher for the insurance license. So I'm going to be able to help any person that's listening to this call get their
Mhm.
insurance license, and then we're going to train you to go out and make a minimum of $100,000. Now,
Wow.
and if you're listening to my voice, then you should be getting my information so you can get in touch with me, because
Mhm.
Ted Wilson and his son Ted Jr. and his daughter Erin, Dale and Cynthia Hawkins, they have set up a program that is, it's got a system that everybody who gets in that system becomes successful. And that's what our
Wow.
people need. You are not going to be able to get ahead in life until you figure out a way to make money while you're sleeping. And you're
Amen.
going to have to figure out how you can do something other than just have a job. Now, I'm not against having a job. I've had plenty of them. But once you start doing some business for yourself, then you're going to make 10 times what that job will pay you, especially if somebody's training you and teaching you. And we have the best trainers in this world. And we work with
Amen.
the number one final expense company in the world, in Lincoln Heritage Insurance Company. So, and I made my first $1 million in late years ago selling
Mhm.
insurance. Well,
Mhm.
we don't have enough agents to get out to all the people that need our service.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Wow. And I mean,
Ted is
the
definitely.
cost.
I didn't mention Tony Yarborough, because she's Ted's right hand, and
Mhm.
and Ted is definitely um, the goat of this business, no question about it. He knows more about it and has done more. And how would some black man from some little place in South Carolina build the kind of company that he's had? You need to have him on this show one day, Donna,
Right.
because it's unbelievable what he's done. Ted Wilson is unbelievable what he's done with universal benefit, and so
Well,
I'm really happy and proud to be
mhm.
able to partner with him.
Well, we really, I mean, that is somebody that we need to probably get on, because people are dying every day, like you said, and they are, funeral expenses are not getting, they're not getting less and less. They're getting more
Mhm.
and more. They're increasing and increasing. And sometimes our salaries are increasing with our JOB, which is just over broke. But I so agree that we have to, money is our employee. That is the way we have to look at it. And I feel like a lot of times we, as a people, and I throw myself in there as well, being transparent. We don't have a good relationship with money. We don't know what money is supposed to do. Money is supposed to work for you. You're not supposed to be working for the money. Money is supposed to be working for you. Even like you said, as you sleep, you should be having income coming in. You should be having income. Money should be working for you 24 hours a day. And if it's not, you got to go back and reevaluate why that's not happening.
And
Because you
in
will
our
never
business, Donna,
uh-huh.
in our business, you you it creates a built-in pension plan for you, that business that you're doing today, you're going to get paid for later on in life
Mm-hmm.
on what you've already done. So it
Mm-hmm.
creates
Mm-hmm.
a
Residual income.
pension
Mm-hmm.
of money that you're going to get later on in life from work
Mm-hmm.
that you've been doing all along. And
Wow.
and today, people don't stay on a job forever. You stay on a job, and you might be lucky if you stay on a job because they're hiring, then they're firing, then they're laying off, they're doing all kind of stuff. So you want a
Mm-hmm.
career. That's what you want.
Man, yep, that is it. And I mean, that is if you're interested in what Tank was just saying. If you're interested, you can let me see if we can get it up on our screens because we are lagging for some reason. And like I said, it could be weather related or weather, but she has on here. You can reach William Tank Black on Facebook. Um, any place, you can reach him on Facebook if you need to contact him. Also, I wanted to, I don't know if am I getting a phone call? Are you kidding me? But I can't even turn it off. Okay. But we want to be you to be able to reach Tank Black. You can reach him on Facebook, or he does have an email. Pinky, if you want to put that up too, run that across the bottom. We are not had. Oh, my producers are coming out here. And it stopped. Okay, I don't know what kind of difficulties we are having. I am, I just don't know what is going here, but I know one thing that this information is good and it's vital, and somebody needs to hear it, or else we wouldn't be going through all of these technological
Yeah.
difficulties. But we are going to stay on here until everybody gets what they need. Let's go to the comments. Clary Stark says Tank Black is the best of the best. He is genuine, sincere, and a mighty man of faith in God. Alita Reed Smalls is saying interesting, wonderful. Um, Tony Fleming Tony Fleming, yes, says Neil is just rich boosters giving out money. HBCU really don't have rich boosters. And so that's what he was, so that's what Tony says. And Tony, I definitely agree with you. Um, Rich getting richer. That's it. Rich getting richer, and we have to absorb the rest. So, but I just, Vince Johnson says, great interview. All right. So thank you, Vince. Thank you, Vince. He was saying earlier that he didn't know if he was going to make it. So I'm glad that he was able to jump on. On the bottom, there's an email, tankblacknews1@gmail.com. So tankblacknews1@gmail.com is another way that you can get in touch with him. I also want to acknowledge something that you have a book, and the book is called Tanked. And if I get my producers to put that up on the screen, because they're getting their stuff up, but we're kind of lagging, and it could be the weather, it could be anything. However, Lena, Pinky, if you're back there, I mean, I know you're back there. If you could put his book up on the screen so people can see it, and there is
We're
something very
trying.
it's trying. Okay, something very special. So they said it's trying, and this is what the broadband is doing here. But he does have a book called Tanked, and it is his story. It is telling his story. And he said from him that if you want a copy of the book, to contact him at his email, which is tankblacknews, NEWS number one @gmail.com. And not only can you get the book from him, he will autograph that book. So contact him and get a copy of this book. It's a game changer because of there it is for all the negativity and all the negative things that were put out there, saying that a lot of the things that they said about him were not true. And we want to make sure that you get this book so that you can look at it and read for yourself and decide for yourself, discern for yourself. And he's going to autograph it for you and everything. So contact Tank at uh, Tank Black News 1 at gmail.com and get your book. Get your book. get your book. You'll be glad you did. It's 300 something pages, so it's a good read. I could hardly put it down. So please get your book and get in contact with him. He's so personable, so personable. So Tank, we have enjoyed having you on today. It was great having you on. Now, the thing that I always ask our because we're getting ready to land this plane, as Akintunde says. We're getting ready to land this plane. Um, Tank, how are you, Tank Black, elevating yourself? Because this is Elevate with Donna J. So, how are you elevating yourself to your next level?
Okay.
Mhm.
I am elevating myself by uh, trusting God to lead me to the people that I'm supposed to be working with. Okay, and I feel comfortable that God is really doing that for me, and I'm elevating myself by helping others make a big difference in the life that they live. And I promise you that if you get in touch with me, I'm going to help you have a better quality of life because that's what we do. We help people have a better quality of life all the way around. And there's a lot of love and there's a lot of patience, there's a lot of training, and we put our efforts into people. And our main commandment, Donna, is to love the Lord with all your heart and with all your soul, but to love your neighbor as yourself. And that's what
Amen.
we're doing with Ted Wilson and Universal Benefit and all of what we're doing. My partners, Chris Shaw and Dale and Cynthia Hawkins. That's what we do. We make a difference in people's life, and we don't talk about it. We really, really do it. And so, if
Amen.
you are in a position where you want a better life, you figure out a way to get in touch with Tank Black.
Amen. Amen. So you heard it straight from Tank Black. If you want to change the position that you are in your life, contact him and he will show you how. So, Tank, we thank you so much for coming on today. I want to give you to wrap it up, like what you wanted to leave. What you wanted to leave our family with today. Go ahead and just give them one last something that can take them through to the next time they see you.
Okay. Okay.
Take them through.
Well, this is what I'd like to leave everybody with. Uh, we're all God's creation. All of us are. None of us are perfect. Um, we're going to make some mistakes along the way. But if we put our trust and faith in God, then everything's going to work out fine for us. We don't have to worry about anything. It's going to work out fine. But if you just be kind to people and show people love, because our world is upside down right now. Our world is in a bad place because we don't show, it's a deficiency of love in the world that we live in right now. And if
That's right.
people like us on this call go out and show love to people, be good to people for no reason, then you're going to make this world a better place. And when I die and I'm gone from this world, I want somebody to come up to my daughter and say, Shayla, your dad was such a kind person. He showed me so much love. And to this day, I don't even know why he did all he did for me. That's what I'd
Mm,
like to leave everybody with.
wow. Well, I'm going to jump on these comments one last time, and we want to see what everybody is saying. And let's see if I can get it here. We have been having such difficulty today, but that's all right because that just shows me that we have a message. Um, Clarice Stark says, Amen. Tank made a big difference in my life. Clarice Starks. Thank you, Clarice, for joining us today. We appreciate it. We do apologize about the lag we have going on today, but we had to keep on going. So we want to make sure that everybody knows that we have a little bit of a lag, but we kept going. We kept persevering. Terry Kelly is watching. Thank you, Terry, for joining us. Playwright Mary Boyles, my friend, my sister. Yes, I would also like more info on how to make my money work for me. That's my good friend, my sister, fellow playwright Mary Boyles. Mary, uh, just get in contact with him. He gave you the information. Just contact him. He will definitely be He'll definitely give you all the information that you need. Definitely will. Lisa Rickenbacker. Hi, cousin Lisa. She is watching. I think I've read all the comments right now, and I just want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Once again, I do apologize for the lag. I want to thank my producer, Pinky, and who is in the back, producer Pinky. Uh-oh. There she goes. That's producer Pinky. Producer Lena is also in the back with us today. There's Lena. And we want to thank our Gen 6 media team for helping make this program possible. I want to thank Tank Black for coming on. It was such a pleasure and an honor to do this interview. It was interesting, it was enlightening, and I'm sure that is going to change somebody's life because all they have to do is contact you for their life changing moment. I'm glad. Thank you, Tank, for coming on. We appreciate you so much. And I hope I can get you back on soon.
Okay, well, it was a pleasure for me to come on, and I love people, so let's just all, like I said, let's just all be a lot kinder and respect all people.
Yes, so that you heard it from Tank Black. Let's be kind to one another, people. Let's be kind to one another. I thank you, family, for joining us today. And if it was your first time, thank you for coming on. And please don't be a stranger. We're family here. Come come on our next show. Please see us on Facebook. You can see our back shows on Facebook. You can see, and we're on YouTube now too. So I'm so happy that we're on YouTube, and you can see all of our shows that we've done. We're here almost a year, so that's awesome. So come and see all the shows that we've done. And once again, we thank you for tuning in to Elevate with Donna J. I'm your host, Donna J. And we will see you next time. Thank you.